an EBT mother on a budget of $300 to $400, even when I only had $200. You know what's cheaper than a $3 pack of Little Debbie snacks?
Yeah.
A 50-cent can of green beans, okay?
Yeah,
you know what's cheaper than 3 packs of soda?
Yep.
A bunch of cans of 50-cent cans of vegetables, okay?
Yeah.
You know what's cheaper than the $150 you spent on chips, sugar, soda, all of that?
Yep.
Buying a bunch of meat. Because the amount of snacks that you bought are enough to last you 2 weeks, and the amount of meat that I bought is enough to last me the entire month of November while I wait for food benefits to fix themselves.
Ooh.
You can stock up on pasta. You can stock up on staples, okay?
Ooh.
Look at that. After buying all healthy foods to ensure that my children are having as less problematic foods in their diet as possible, look at the money I have left over for snacks. We got cookies, we got baked cheddar, whatever the are, pretzels, a bag of fruit snacks, and saltine crackers. And you know what my children don't complain about? Mom, why can't we have cake and ice cream and sugar all the time?
Yeah.
I don't give a crap. I don't think children should starve, but I don't think children should be being fed poisonous all the time because parents want to boo-hoo over the fact that they're not willing to get their lives in order.
Ooh. Is she telling the truth or is she telling the truth? Is she telling the truth or is she telling the truth? Parents want to boo-hoo because they're not willing to do what it takes to better themselves. That's an absolute fact. She nailed it right there. She absolutely nailed it. And this is a young woman who is receiving the benefits, but she's using them properly. Listen, you don't have to buy all those snacks. Listen, you know what's cheaper than a $3 pack of snack cakes? Get you some green beans. Get you some green beans. You don't need all those snacks. We got a box of fruit snacks here, box of cookies here, maybe some goldfish and some crackers. Listen, you don't need all those snacks. All those snacks not gonna lead to a healthy lifestyle. Not gonna lead to a high quality of life. She nailed it. We'll give her the mic.
And obviously I'm not talking about disabled. Obviously I'm not talking about elderly. And obviously I'm not talking about the parent that just lost her husband and now has to do it on her own.
Right.
Obviously I'm not talking about people who got raped and had to take care of a kid that was forced upon them. So don't make it into that. Exactly. My children are so health conscious that I can let them have their whole Halloween bag of candy in their room and they only limit themselves to a piece a day.
Discipline.
They're not super dependent on sugar. They don't freak out because I don't give them the bag of chips. It's all about how you raise your child.
Fact.
The reason your kid wants a plethora of unhealthy foods versus...
The word is plethora. But she's cooking right now, so we'll give her a pass.
Vegetables is because that unhealthy foods is what you shoved in their face the most, okay?
Yes, absolutely. That unhealthy food is what you shoved in their face, and you shoved it in their face to keep them quiet because you didn't want to properly discipline them. You just want them to be quiet. Fine, you want the cupcakes here. You want the zebra cakes here. You want the honey buns here. You want the oatmeal cream here. To keep them quiet instead of instilling some discipline in them. And taking the time to raise them like she has for her kids, exposing them and putting a bag of candy in front of them and them saying, no, just one piece a day. Shout out to her.
And if anything, you should have just waited a couple years, let them be on a diet of vegetables, protein, and fruits, and then introduce them to the fun stuff so that they didn't get some form of addicted, considering a lot of you admit that American food is addicting, but are still willing to give it to your kids.
The only thing I disagree with was her pronunciation of the word plethora. That's it. She is spot on in this diatribe. And this is a woman who's receiving the resources, but this is someone who's using them properly, who is giving her children the nutrition that they need and that's going to benefit them long term and lead to a higher quality of life, perhaps a higher quality of life than she is living right now. It appears that she's setting her kids up for success by being a good steward of the taxpayer dollars. Shout out to her.
Cutting food stamps the month of Thanksgiving, y'all cannot tell me they did not plan this. Hear me out, this might be a wild take, but I truly feel like they're trying to see how far they can push us so we can give them a reaction so they can just start blasting us. Because let's be honest, we all riot, we all rampage, we all genuinely get together and create some ruckus. They're gonna have no choice but to put their foot down and have to shoot some people and control the population. On my mama! It is all a plan. I just want to know when we're all going to be like that Ant movie and get together and just overthrow these. Because I genuinely feel like people forget that it is our right to overthrow the government if we don't see it fit. And clearly, our government has been shut down twice. Our government is not fit. So therefore, hear me out. It is our right to overthrow the government. Y'all need to get this racism out of your and get out of this division. And we need to start getting together. Because that's what the want is for us to be divided so they can conquer. We literally learn about this.
If you're on food stamp benefits, you might not be able to buy what other people can buy very soon. So a lot of states, including Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, many states are starting this new thing where they are restricting what EBT recipients can buy. They're saying they can no longer buy energy drinks, soda, candy, and sweet snacks. Now, I understand them wanting to say, hey, you need to buy healthier foods. But restricting them and telling them what they could buy is stripping away their dignity.
Oh my God.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
So this woman is tying dignity to the ability to buy soda and junk food.
Oh man.
The reason there are restrictions is because they know it's the only way to get people to comply. It's the only way to save them from themselves. They just said, hey, make sure you buy X amount of healthy foods per month. You have to buy X amount of healthy foods per month, and they just loaded the money and didn't restrict certain purchases. People wouldn't comply. But no, what do? They restrict certain purchases because they know who people are. They know how people operate. They know how people think. They know. So they play chess. Nah, we're restricting this purchase. No, we're restricting that purchase because that's the only way normies are going to listen. That's the only way the recipients are going to get it. That's the only way. You have to protect them from themselves because any other way is not going to work. And they know that. Restricting certain purchases is stripping them of their dignity and their rights. See, here's the problem. Stripping them of their dignity and their rights. Their rights? These are taxpayer dollars, ma'am. You're not entitled to someone else's money, ma'am. This is crazy, man.
Rights, everything. Just because you are in a financial hardship situation doesn't mean that you are less valued in this society.
And just because you're struggling doesn't mean you're special.
And it really...
Just because you're struggling does not make you special. It makes you responsible for your next move. Being in the struggle doesn't make you special. It makes you responsible. Restricting certain purchases with taxpayer resources. It's not stripping someone of their dignity and their rights. That is so wild to even say. That's so wild. They're restricting purchases with the money that I didn't earn and the money that I was given. They're restricting purchases on that money. They're taking away my rights and my dignity. Wow. Wow.
It makes me mad to say that. So if a low-income family has a birthday, they cannot buy a birthday cake because some prepared desserts are not allowed in their food stamp program. Now, what do you guys think about this?
Buy the ingredients and bake your own cake. Buy the ingredients and bake your own cake. Do something for yourself. Something. Oh, I can't buy a prepared cake. Buy the ingredients. Learn how to bake a cake for yourself. Do something. Contribute to your own life in some way and stop feeling entitled for everything. Do something. Man, these people are unbelievable. They're taking away my rights. We can't go and buy a prepared cake because it's not a part of their food stamp program. Boo-hoo! Do something for yourself. Be a contributor to your own life. If you're not going to be a contributor to your own life, stop demanding that other people contribute. Unbelievable.
So I decided to come to Jewel's and I needed to get just like some chips and some ice cream or whatever. And I was like, let me just take my EBT card with me and I'm just gonna scan it, see if it's gonna work or whatever. Y'all, why did the card work? It just worked. It just worked. So I normally get 300. They gave me about 200. I did see that people were saying that they were getting less. It was like a 35% cut or something like that. But people in my state were not saying it. It was only people like in California and stuff like that. So, baby, I had to come back in here because I need some more stuff. I need some more stuff. Check your balance. By the way, I'm in Chicago.
Y'all, so they cutting off the stamps, right?
Right.
No more food stamps.
Right.
Friends,
Friends.
come close. Who gonna push me out of court? I need some groceries. Who gonna push me out of court real quick? Cause I'm just saying, y'all cutting off the stamps. What the f is people supposed to be doing? Thanksgiving is right around the corner in 2 blocks. So myself. So if y'all know anybody and baskets.
If you are in the position to say, if they cut off this, what am I going to do? That means you put yourself in a position to be completely reliant upon taxpayer dollars in the government, which is never a good position. It means you put all of your eggs in that basket, which is not a strategic decision, and it's not a good way to live your life. You put all your eggs in that basket. Not a smart move, not a winning move. Don't ever do that. That is it for me today. Catch y'all in the next video.